you start off by introducing yourself?
Yes, my name is Suzette Garcia Davis, and I am your mom, and I'm also a teacher and a full time parent to three more children.
And for the first question, do you prefer a real or a fake Christmas tree and why?
I prefer real Christmas trees. I grew up in Puerto Rico and we always had an artificial tree, and um, I just always liked the idea of having a real Christmas tree, and I always liked the fresh smell of it and the way that it looks. I prefer that. I think it looks more natural, and it adds a special quality to celebrating Christmas.
For the second question, how has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted what you thought you would be doing this year?
We usually travel to see family, so that's been hard not to be able to plan that. So I think it's just affected the way that we've had to organize our way of celebrating, and we normally like to be with our extended family during this time, and we don't have a lot of family here in Colorado, so but it's also made us kind of be creative about focusing on the things that are important and that mean a lot to us, and so we've been trying to really be intentional and focus on those things this year.
How did the tradition of getting a real Christmas tree get started?
Part of it was personal preference, but when we first moved to Germany, to our first duty station as a family, we decided to get a Christmas tree, and so we had this little tiny rental car, and we went out to pick out a Christmas tree from the tree lot. And Andrew you were probably around 3, so and it was just the three of us, your dad and I and you. And so we went and picked out a tree, and everybody was super excited. And then we put it, or your dad tied it on top of the car. And it was this tiny, I don't even know what kind of car it was, but it was like a little hatchback kind of. And so we got on the Autobahn, and you were really quiet in the back seat. And so I remember both of us kind of looking over at you when you were gripping onto the string that tied the Christmas tree up onto the roof of the car, and you were just very focused and concentrated and just really gripping that string. And we asked you what you were doing, and you said you were holding onto the Christmas tree. So then we looked up, and we could see that the Christmas tree was sliding. It was almost all the way off the car, and you could see it because it was like sliding off to your side. And so we pulled over, and we were on the Autobahn, so we couldn't really like re-strap it onto the tree, and obviously that hadn't been effective. So our only option was to shove the Christmas tree into the car with us. So we pulled over, and you and I sat in the back seat, and then we just had this huge, because of course, it was our first Christmas tree, so it had to be really big and full. So then we had to like shove the whole Christmas tree into the car and into the rental car. And I remember it was a rental car because then we had to go and like vacuum out all the pine needles and stuff from it. So I think that is probably just a really funny and Christmas memory, and we've just kind of kept it going of and that's part of the adventure of going to get the Christmas trees, because it reminds me of that first time that we got our Christmas tree as a family.